That's one of the Japanese runners, and the jockey on board, Masayoshi Ibina, who's going to be on El Condor Pasa in the Arc itself. This is the horse Willie was talking about earlier, who's a 9-year-old now, hasn't won since 1995. He's called Dojima Muteki.
Now this is what you call a sporting run. Yes, it is.
He's never run outside Japan, and he's run on firm ground the last 2 times. He'll never have seen ground like this before.
I should think he's come over as a companion for some other horse, because the owner, Yoshida, he's got a lot of horses running in France, so possibly he's come over for some other reason.
Bertolini down at the start, Chios there, number 7 on the right. But let's have a look at Mitcham in the background now. We saw Richard Quinn getting the weight put into his weight cloth. Mitcham, a horse who won the King's Stand Stakes at Royal Ascot.
Yeah, he squeezed up the inside that day, given a great ride by Richard Quinn. Just got up. Of course, different today. The ground is going to be a lot softer. He's drawn 13. He likes to come from behind. That won't be a problem. The speed that these are going to go over this very sharp 5 furlongs.
And since winning the King's Stand, he's been, I suppose, a shade disappointing.
He has been.
Fourth to Imperial Beauty at Newbury and only 8th at Haydock.
He's beaten a long way that day. He was a horse possibly you would think won't be in the 3 or won't be in the 4 today.
But his moment of glory at Royal Ascot, and we won't forget that. Chios there, do you see that funny bit of grey just at the top of his tail? There'll be some other horses looking at that later if he goes and wins this race. But Cash Asmussen, as we were saying, the French have a pretty dreadful record in this race. Kistina for Cricket Head being their only winner since 1985. So Chios trying to change those things, and he does have the form to take a hand in the finish. He
does, and they've got a lot of stable confidence behind this horse. He loves the soft ground. He's on the improve, and he's sort of finished 6th to Dick Cat and the Prix Maurice de Guise. In between his sort of good runs. So he's been running in the top races, he's been running in good races, a little bit further than this 5 furlongs, but the stable think that he's got a very good chance because he can handle heavy ground. And of course he's got the added advantage of having Cash Asmussen on the saddle.
Well, Cash is getting back on him because Thierry Janet has ridden him the last couple of times, but he does have to turn around form with Bertolini. Sam Power Star, we were talking to Richard Hannon Jr. earlier, and Willie, he's a lovely, consistent
lovely horse. I thought that Richard Hughes rode a little bit too much hold up at Ascot that his last time around when he was 4th there. When he got actually a few days holiday for his riding of him. He tried to come with a late run. He didn't have quite the room. This could be a rags to riches story if this fellow won, because he only cost 1,300 guineas as a yearling, and he has been beaten at Bath in a cellar.
And Richard Hannon has won this race, of course, with Mr. Brooks.
Loves the soft ground as well, but the 5 furlongs could be just a danger to him.
Agnes World, the other Japanese runner in this, and this would have a much better chance than Dojima Muteki. This is trained by Hideki Mori and ridden by Yutaka Take. Now, he's won his last 2 races in Japan, but again on firm ground, Willie, and he just won't know what's hit him.
And the other thing is that he's never ever ran 5 furlongs before. He's always been 6. This is his first time in such a short race. But the ground will help him that way for his stamina to come in. But they think this horse is going to run quite well.
Just in the foreground, a shot there, number 3 is Averti, who's actually been spending his winter off at Stud.
Yes, it hasn't done him any good because he's only ran it twice since he'd had that season at Stud, and he hasn't been shown the same enthusiasm for his racing before he went to Stud. So maybe going to Stud hasn't done him a world of good.
I think it's taken his mind off the job, I do. Anyway, it'd be great to see him come back to form here, though, because Averti was actually placed in this race last year, was 2nd to My Best Valentine. So he might just recover a bit of his old sparkle, you never know. You can see that half of the runners are actually loaded. You never want sprinters to be standing in the stalls for too long.
It's having a stale, that horse there. See how old the old fella said, I'm going to race now. He said, I'm going to get rid of everything, all the excess weight. I'm just going to get rid of it. That's an old horse for you, a 9-year-old.
He's obviously not nervous, that's for sure. Let's have a look again at Antinaz. Tommy Stack was saying how we wished him well. I'm so glad to see he was back on the race course.
Yes, I had a chat with him at the cells, and he can hear a little bit. He has a magnet on his head and hearing aid, and he has very quickly picked up lip reading. He's amazing,
really.
Amazing guy.
For those that you weren't listening earlier, Tommy Stack suffered from a very serious bout of meningitis, but has managed to recover, and he's got an outside chance with Antinaz.
Yeah, he's just going into the stalls here. In the old days, the stalls were placed on the other side, and if you weren't drawn in the first 5, you had no chance. But since they put the stalls on the stand side, it's helped to draw. It gives everybody an equal chance.
Arcadian Hero just going forward. One horse we haven't mentioned is Timote, trained by Dermot Weld, who again has a chance in this. It's actually quite an open race, although Bertolini is a fairly short price favourite. And Timote named after an Eskimo Indian tribe, so I've been told. So it's pronounced Timote, not named after the shampoo.
It was second to Tedborough in the Flying 5 at Leopardstown.
Well, not too many more to go forward now. Sam Power Star just waiting to be loaded. I think we'll go and join Jim, because, Jim, it's not going to take very long once the stall's open, is it?
Less than a minute, Claire. And the last couple going forward, last 23 runnings of this race, 18 have been won by British-trained horses, 3 trained in Ireland, and only 2 locally, both of those from the stable of Cricket Head. Plenty of shouting there in the stalls. Sam Power Star, Richard Hughes in the foreground, and Agnes World being ridden by Yutaka Take. Now there's a Verti, John Reed. Beside him is Antinaz, John Murta, Cassius Musen, just plenty of chat there with the stalls handlers. Sam Power Star is going to be the last, I think, to go forward. Certainly second last, if not the last, with that blindfold on. Horse who should really appreciate the sting out of the ground today. Very, very soft here. Agnes World, the Japanese runner, one of 2 of them in this race, goes forward now. They're ready for the Abbey. No, one more to go forward. Dejima Muteki, the other Japanese runner, and now they're set. Under orders, and they're racing. A pretty good even break too. Bertolini, one of the first away, and Dejima Mateki up there as well in the early stages. Going through in the centre, St. Marine to take it up from Agnes World. Imperial Beauty not that far away from Black Rock Desert, and Sam Power Star is nicely positioned as well. Yorkie's Boyd losing ground. Passed by Averti and Antinaz in the centre. Timote as well back, so too is Arcadian Hero, and they're followed by Mitcham. But driving through along the inside, it's San Marino who shows the way, blazing the trail here. Up on the outside in second place there, Imperial Beauty being hard ridden as they continue their journey past halfway now. Agnes World on the outside has raced up to take up the lead now from Imperial Beauty, who's driving through, followed then by Sam Marine inside the final furlong. Then Antinaz from Sam Power Star and Chaos. It's Imperial Beauty getting through along the inside here. Agnes World is fighting back. They race up towards the line now. 50 yards left to go. Imperial Beauty and Agnes World, they race towards the line, locked together. Agnes World and Imperial Beauty, a photo. Just behind them is Chaos in company with Sam Power Star. Then Antinaz, followed by Arcadian Hero, who ran on well. They're followed by Timote with Sam Marine, who got very weary from Mitcham. Then Averti, Yorkie's Boy. Then Donna Muteki well back in the field in company there with Bertolini. And the last one home is Black Rock Desert. But this is a photo, and a very tight one too, between the Japanese runner, number 9, Agnes World, and the British-trained runner, trained by Peter Macon, Imperial Beauty. She's run a fantastic race. And Chaos and Sam Power Star behind them. But this huge crowd watching and waiting for the number board to indicate which of these sprinters has crossed the line first. Let's have a look at them in the concluding stages. In the orange jacket, that's Imperial Beauty. Near side, Agnes World. They're clear of Antinaz. Agnes World on the near side, ridden by Yutaka Take, a nose in front. Imperial Beauty fighting back, and it looks, if the next stride means that they've met the winning post, it looks like the Japanese runner has got up, but still no numbers officially. Pat Eddery in the orange jacket on Imperial Beauty. On the left is Yutaka Take on Agnes World. Behind them, Sam Power Star, Richard Hughes. Antonaz, ridden by John Murta. Then on the left is Chaos, ridden by Cash Asmussen. As they race towards the line there, you can see the post looming up, and very, very close indeed. And it is a photo. The judge has still not given it outright. It is a photo resting between 9 Agnes World, owned by T. Watanabe, trained by Hideyuki Mori and ridden by Yutaka Take. The other one in the photo, number 13, Imperial Beauty, owned by Dr. Carlos Stelling, ridden by Pat Edry and trained by Peter Macon. And it's a photo for third as well. And that rests between number 7, Chaos, owned by Flaxman Holdings, trained by John Hammond, ridden by Cassius Muston. The other one in the photo for third is number 8, Sampower Star, owned by Sampower Racing Club, trained by Richard Hannon, ridden by Richard Hughes. So 2 photos here, still awaiting the judge after the running of the Prix de l'Ave.
Well, what an extraordinary race. I apologise for the French coverage that didn't actually manage to show you the line, but this is our coverage from the head-on camera, and this Japanese horse, Agnes World, has broken out so quick. I mean, when you bear in mind that Saint Marine has been the fastest thing in Group 1 races in Europe for the last 2 seasons, he's managed to jump out and challenge her for speed in the early part of the race. Imperial Beauty, who's in the photo for first place, Pat Edry in the orange colours on the right, just starting to push along at this stage, and Yutaka Take still hasn't moved.
And the hooter's just gone for a stewards inquiry, so we just might see something happening. But as you said, this horse came out of the stalls absolutely flying, never run in a 5 furlong race before, but knew how to race. And of course the filly
Imperial Beauty,
Saint Marine, you know, she just cannot go in this ground. She needs top of the ground. Pat Edry, every chance there, just maybe got to the front a little bit soon there, maybe didn't have enough cover. And Sampower Star next to the rails with Richard Hughes finishing well. But I think Cash Asmussen on the outside there with the blinkers has finished third.
Well, the
Come
Japanese
from a long
jockey,
way back, that horse.
The Japanese jockey Yutaka Take has made his way into the winner's enclosure, so he's obviously certain that he's won. And Hideyuki Mori, the trainer, that is an amazing training performance. This horse hasn't run outside Japan. He's never encountered this sort of ground. He won his last 2 races in Japan fairly easily, but they were both over 6 furlongs, dropping back to 5 here. That is an incredible performance from Japan. And what does this bode for El Condor Pasa? They're going to be so excited now.
It's a great start to the day for them. They've gone and won this Group 1 5 furlong race, brought the horse out of Japan all the way over to France and beat the French and beat the English as well. And then the English is usually the strongest people for this race, because we have, as we've said earlier, we keep winning this 5 furlong sprint, 5 furlong dash. But the Japanese today, there's Yakitaki being congratulated there, and so he should. He did nothing wrong, got the horse out of the stalls like a real flying machine, and was really never headed, you know. Maybe Saint Marine got in front of him halfway through the race, but he was always up front. And Pat Edry, he tried his hardest to get past him, and as you can see, Richard Quinn there just weighing in. Nearly every jockey has to weigh in here in France, and all these Group 1 races.
Well, there are a lot of disappointments further back in the field. Sampower Star ran a very good race, and Chios, as we mentioned, finished best of all. Arcadian Hero, as we had suggested might happen, couldn't handle that ground at all. And Bertolini was never really going well.
Never saw him. Never saw him. Couldn't go the quick early pace. And that's what Frankie was worried about. He was saying that he just thought that the sharpness of these old sprinters, you know, sort of he wouldn't be able to, you know, sort of keep up with them, and that is exactly what happened. Gerald Mossy just saying thank you to the clerk of the scales.
Well, we have had the result confirmed. Agnes World definitely the winner. Imperial Beauty finishing second, and Chios and Cash Asmussen taking third place. Pat there. There's not going to be a smile from here, and you hate getting beaten in the photo.
Look at him now. He's just thinking, what could I have done to have won this race? And it's all buzzing around in his head at the moment, possibly saying, I wasn't good enough. There's Cash.
I'll tell you what, there's a big buzz next to us down here near the winner's enclosure, and the Japanese are being surrounded by press from all over Europe asking for their comments. And I think, God, no, well, imagine if they win the Arc with El Condor Pasa. They will go absolutely mad, won't
well,
they?
You'll think you were in Tokyo in the winner's enclosure, I would think.
You can see the British journalists crowding around there to try and get a comment. And that really was, I cannot emphasize what an incredible performance that was, to come over from Japan, never having run in Europe. And Jim, that is really something, isn't it, to win the Abbey?
Fantastic performance, Claire, and giving the Japanese their 4th Group 1 victory in the last year. Seeking the Pearl won the Prix Maurice de Guise to Deauville. Taiki Shuttle won the Prix Jacques Lemoyne there, and that was last year. And El Condor Pasa has already won a Group 1 this year, the Grand Prix de Saint-Cloud, and is, as we all know, one of the fancied runners in today's Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. So the Japanese on a high as they go into this Europe's most important and prestigious all-age contest. And a huge crowd, the atmosphere building in the paddock. And there is the result. We confirm it for you now. Number 9, Agnes World, ridden by Yutaka Take, is the winner. Second, number 13, Imperial Beauty, ridden by Pat Edry. And third, number 7, Chaos, ridden by Cash Asmussen. That's the 1, 2, 3. So the last 24 runnings of the Prix de l'Abbey, 18 have been won by British trained horses, 3 from Ireland, 2 from France, and now 1 from Japan. And now the jockeys weighing out. There's a very interesting jockey, János Tandari, 52-year-old, the oldest jockey in the Arc, Hungarian-born, defected, and now based in Scandinavia, and is the most successful Scandinavian jockey of the last 25 years. Great character and much travel. That's the weighing room. And Michael Roberts just over on the far side, chatting with connections. Went very, very close to getting a place with Meletrian. Finished 4th in the Prix Marcel Boussac. The scales on which all jockeys have to weigh out and then weigh in with the corresponding weight after the race. Coming out of the room there, Sylvain Guillot, San Marine's jockey, and he rides Cerulean Sky in the same colours in the Arc. Cerulean Sky, a filly by Darshan. And one that'll really appreciate the ground, Richard Quinn, putting in some last-minute study. He rides La Guerra, runner-up last year. The same colours. Those colours, those of Madame Foch. And he has weighed out. There's John Murtagh, who's a ride aboard Genghis Khan. Gerald Mosse in the background. Happy scenes in the presentation area. Yutaka Take, the winning jockey there, the owner, Mr. Watanabe, and the trainer, Hideyuki Mori. Hideyuki Mori is the trainer of Agnes World.